As we all know, I said that I would never review this show again because of Hitler Barbie and her podcast. However, now that Faith is back with a possible gutful of Jax, I am all in. Let's get into this review. We're not talking about Faith this episode, but because I've missed the first few episodes, I wanted to discuss her a little bit with you guys. Can we talk about how Faith is a disappointment? I'm sorry, sis. I don't know the behind the scenes. I don't know what was going on with your check because I felt like Lisa didn't like you because you was with her son. I don't really know what happened, but I am bothered by the fact, come on here, that you are the only sister on this show who actually had a storyline and an actual mic packed to your back, because they had a sister before. All you will see is her singing with her afro from time to time, and the cast members mentioned her on The Flying Wind, but nobody really ever had a scene with her. We never heard her voice. She never was a real character on this show. And for you to come on, your storyline is as Jax's baby mama? What? Possible baby mama, but still, how you gonna possibly get pregnant by Jax and not Lisa's son? That was the golden ticket right there. I could have been on a blind date with Lisa's son. I would have been pregnant within the first 15 minutes of meeting him, okay? I would have been like, sorry babe, I'm pregnant. What are we gonna do? You deserve better. We, the black viewers of this show, deserve better. Your coochie deserves better. I'm just so disappointed. And I'm not saying we need a real black person on the show, because Faith is a black person. I'm not going to take away her identity or her black card or anything like that. But I feel like we need a black person on this show who will stand up to the witches of WeHo. We need somebody who will really bring it, who will really bring a storyline. I felt like Faith just faded to the back when she was on, and now she's on and she's not even like a freaking day player. We need more representation. And I mean, we got trans representation this season. We need to really mix it up. But you know what? I feel like they're doing the same thing with Billy that they did with Faith. Like, you know, they would bring Faith in when they needed some diversity, and then you wouldn't hear from her. So I feel like they're doing the same thing with Billy. It's just like, oh, it's pride. Let's give Billy a scene, and then we're never going to hear from her again. Seriously, we need more black people on this show, because Lala ain't gonna cut it. And I don't know why in the hell you posted that People interview where you're telling your side of the story like it was going to be something redeemable, because it wasn't. You sat there and talked about how basically Jax fetished you for seasons before you allow him to smash. Like, girl, first of all, why is Lisa asking Stassi for help with the surge dresses for Pride? Stassi, the girl who wears Charlotte Russe on the daily, Charlotte Russe clearance section on the daily, why are you asking her for fashion advice? You should have asked Lala. Stassi, sweetie, you got a lift, not a reduction. I'm not hating, I'm just being accurate. I would do it too, you know what I mean? Like, these babies are heavy. If I had the coin, I might do it. No, I won't. I keloid. Ooh. So then we have this Reiki scene with the guys, and during this like Reiki session, I'm actually thinking to myself, oh my gosh, Jax is growing up. He's becoming more of a man. He's maturing. He's realizing what he did was wrong, and he's trying to change. He's crying. Jax is changing for the better. And then right in the next scene, he's talking about how nobody asked him how he felt. That's why he was crying, because like the Reiki teacher was asking him about himself. And he felt like with him cheating, nobody checked on him. Everybody checked in on Brittany. Dude, we don't care about you right now. We don't like you. You cheated on one of the sweetest girls on the show. Oh gosh, I don't even want to talk about it this season, but Jax treats Brittany horribly. And I honestly think that he does that because, like Stassi said in this episode, he wants her to break up with him. I don't think that Jax doesn't like being the bad guy. Although he's constantly the bad guy, he doesn't like it. He just keeps on messing up. I think that he does things when he's done with that relationship and he wants to move on to something else, or he feels suffocated and he wants to get out. He creates situations and scenarios for himself where he does something wrong and he looks like the bad guy, and the person breaks up with him so he can just move on. He doesn't want to be the one to dump. I don't think he's ever dumped. I think Stassi said that he's always been dumped. He's never dumped anybody, and I think that's what he's trying to do with Brittany. I'm sorry, sis. I feel like he's over you. I feel like you suffocate him. I feel like this Instagram relationship got a bit too real, and he's ready to be free. And that's the problem here. Brittany is a fan. She met Jax through Instagram. She's been a fan of the show. She was a fan of his. She thought he was hot. I thought he was sexy. She thought he was hot. And now you start to date this guy, but she's still looking at him as a fan. So when he does things that probably she wouldn't accept from a regular dude from back home in Arkansas, is she from Arkansas? Whatever, the South, wherever she's from, she probably wouldn't accept that from the dudes in her hood. But she'll accept it from Jax because she's still a fan. She's still not his girlfriend. She's a fan. And I feel like he's treating her like a fan. And everybody else around him is getting mad because she's so sweet and she has this very young demeanor. And they don't like how he's treating her. But the way they got together, it was a recipe for disaster. You know what I mean? Like, you should never meet your heroes. You should never date your idols. I feel like Brittany may get dragged at the reunion because she's starting to play both sides. Like, she's hanging with the witches of WeHo and then she's hanging with the Degrassi rejects. And I don't feel like it's gonna go over well for her in the long run because you gotta pick a side at one point. And she's just, you know, is it tilling the line? Whatever, she's playing the line. You know, she's staying like right here. She's Switzerland, but you can't be Switzerland with this group. You gotta either be evil or just Courtney. You gotta pick one, Brittany. And I feel like she's having conversations with the Degrassi rejects about the witches of WeHo. And she's having a conversation about the queen of the witches of WeHo, Katie. And girl, watching this back, I don't think it's gonna work well for you. You better go back into your sweet little bubble and shut up. This rooftop cinema scene, I don't believe it. Here is why. This whole scene with Brittany and this rooftop cinema waiter from Kansas or whatever, and, you know, growing up in the same neighborhood, all of that wasn't coincidental, right? He was picked by Rooftop Cinema to film this scene. That's why he was obviously very handsome and knew so much, you know, had so much in common with Brittany. But did you notice the product placement, that huge Rooftop Cinema sign on his shirt? All this was product placement so that Vanderpump could film there for free. That's what they do. Like, producers send out like scouting producers and they scout different places and say, hey, so-and-so wants to film here. Could we film here for free or for a discounted amount? And we'll trade you with like advertising your space. That's all that is. It's not a bad advertisement though. I've been wanting to go to Rooftop Cinema for a very long time. They're always sold out when I can go, and when I can't go, they're available. It hasn't worked out, but I'm going to try to hit it up this spring. And if you guys are interested, I'll review it for you. James and Logan. The writing's on the wall. This relationship is going to get real messy because it seems like James is trying to put Logan in a closet he ain't never been in. I don't know, girl, but I'm here for it. James blames a lot of his poor behavior on his alcohol consumption. I don't think it's that. Maybe they were there filming for a very long time and James had been drinking a long time, but he didn't seem as lit to me as he normally is when he goes off. Because that back and forth with Lala, I agree with James. Logan and Lala were shading Raquel. That's what they were doing. James didn't like it, and James shot back. I've seen James go off like that on this show without having a lick of alcohol. So it's not that. He felt some sort of way. He really loves Raquel, and he was hurt by the fact that, one, I'm just relaying the tea that I've heard. They're calling Logan his bottom on the Twitter. That's what they're saying. The word on the street is Logan is his bottom. That's what they're saying. But anyway, Logan is visibly upset by that because, like I said again, I feel like James is trying to keep him, you know, whatever they do or whatever they've done, he's trying to keep it very hush. And Logan is like, I'm not in the closet. I've never been. And I only think that because I've had friends who have been in this situation. I've had gay friends who have dated in the closet people, or we call it down low in my community. So I feel like that's what's happening, and he's getting upset by it. And it comes out when James is with Rachel or talks about Rachel. Now, I could honestly be wrong. I just don't understand a straight dude having a gay best friend who's jealous of his girlfriend and tries to kiss him. You know, like, my group of friends, we're all a mixture. You know, we're all a mixture of culture, sexual identity, all types of things, right? Best friends. Gay, straight, whatever. Best friends. But my guy friends have never had a relationship like that where, you know, my gay best friend has been jealous of my straight best friend's girlfriend. It's never been like that. They've always been like brothers. So this is very familiar to me as a woman because I've been in situations where I've been like friends with a guy and I'm friends with him because I want something else. or we, messed around and we're like, oh, we're just gonna chill. We're just gonna remain friends because we're better off in this situation. And I'm saying okay to the situation, but I'm not really okay with it because I want to be with him. So I'm saying I'll hang around as a friend because eventually I want us to get back together. And I feel like that's happening with Logan, and he's getting jealous of Raquel because it was very obvious the minute James mentioned Raquel, and he was like, and I was like, oh, I that's very familiar to me because I've done that before on several occasions, okay? That's that hate inside eye, you know what I mean? So James, I don't know what's going on, but honey, whoo, how you doing? The way he read Lala was flawless. That was some top level queen read, okay? Darling, he's going to get bored of you and move on to something younger and blonde. The big fat man that you're having sex with who pays your rent. Oh, you jealous because I don't have that? I was like, And Lala, James was reading her so quick, she couldn't process it. And when she finally processed it, her eyes got big. You know how Lala tries to act tough. I was just like, ooh, girl. But word on the street is, well, no, it's real tea. She mentioned it on her Twitter. They're no longer friends. She said that she watched the episode again and she was just like, I'm done. I can't be friends with somebody who treats me like that. And I'm happy for her because he treats her poorly. James, every season, goes off on Lala multiple times, trashes her to other people, and then she forgives him. Even she had sex with him. And I'm like, girl, you know what, Lala? You are my girl. I love you. I feel like there's some self-esteem issues there that need to be worked out because it comes out in the way James treats you, and it comes out in this like mysterious relationship that you like speak about. And I'm only going off of how you speak about it. It doesn't really sound uplifting. That's just my opinion. And I feel like just because she's beautiful and stylish and comes off tough to her Caucasian friends, somebody who's street, I can read that that's not, and I'm not saying I'm like, oh, I got a razor blade in my mouth. I'm saying I know street. And she's not street. She's portraying street, or she wants to give that off. And I don't think she's appropriating. I think that she uses that to keep people away from her because she's very fragile, as we saw in previous seasons or her first season that she was on. So, girl, I'm happy that you got rid of James because you don't need anybody treating you like that in your life. And I'm hoping that you are moving forward in your life like that. You know what I mean? Like removing the toxic people and not letting people mistreat you no matter what they do for you or no matter how many times they tell you they love you. I wish the cast would stop discussing Rob with Sheena. Sheena don't care. The only reason why Sheena is stressed out about this situation is because you guys are putting it on TV. Let me tell you something. A woman always know. Sheena know about her man. She even confirmed it. She was just like, oh, he probably just kissed like a friend. She's trying to make it seem a lot platonic than it really is. But she knows who this guy is. She knows. She's just trying to get married because let me tell you something. If y'all don't know LA living, it is hard out here. Even when you're making money, you're still struggling. You saw that apartment that Sheena lived in with her husband. Her still current husband. Okay. Mother was living in Section 8. Let's tell the truth and shame the devil. That B-roll of that apartment that they got, I was just like, oh, this is a rough neighborhood. Okay. You can tell that Jax got a little bit of money because where he's living, that is a nice WeHo area. I know where Sheena's living. Okay, so she's trying to get out of this situation that she's in, and she got this man who got some money and got a nice mansion, and she's trying to move in, and you hoes keep on bringing up how he's cheating and kissing broads every which way. She don't care if he made out with the chick at McDonald's. She is not getting out of that mansion, so y'all need to mind your business and leave that alone, because Sheena not going nowhere. Word on the street is that he broke up with her. Let me know in the comment section below if that's the truth. Good for you, Katie. Katie has given up on trying to change Schwartz. She realized he is what he is, and she married him. So she's just going to live with it. And I think that that's going to make her a lot happier. I think that that's the problem with the both of them in their relationship. They want each other to be different. Schwartz wants Katie to be okay with his like lackadaisical lifestyle. Katie wants Schwartz to be like this mogul. And I'm like, girl, it's not happening. Schwartz can do it, but he just doesn't have the drive. And she finally accepted her husband for who he is. And I'm excited about it because before I thought that they had a very toxic relationship. And I felt like it was because Katie was trying to force him to be something that he's just not. Now I'm excited to see where their relationship will go. Now that she's just like, it is what it is. This is who I married. I didn't want to say settle, but girl, you know, y'all, she love him. I don't know. Katie, I just feel like out of all these girls on this show, you are the one who could do it. You got a bad eyebrow. You know what I mean? Your eyebrows are sickening, honey. And you know what, like I said before, with a nice waist trainer and a keto diet, sis, you could snag somebody with some coins. I just feel like you're living beneath middle class when, girl, you could get it. You could have an Erica Girardi life. I swear, honey, I see it in you. But, you know, I'm not trying to break up your marriage. I'm just saying, there's hope. There's hope. Can't you just see her stepping out of like a nice Maserati with a nice little blunt cut, you know what I mean? Like down the side with a Victoria Beckham kind of cut, you know, waist cinch, titties sitting, coming out with an Hermes bag, you know, and draped in Balenciaga, coming out with some, what are they, red bottoms? These red bottoms. Walking out of some red bottoms, walking into the Sir to talk to Lisa and just like, hey girl, how you doing with some bad shades? I could see it. I could see it. She got the potential out of all them broads. She the one. Not even Lala. Not even Lala. Because I don't feel like Lala aim as high as she can. Because Lala is aiming. You know what? Let's just talk about it. Lala, I feel like you are shooting your shot. I don't know how much money this old white dude you banging got, right? I don't know how much money. I don't know how much leverage he got. I'm just saying, you look like the type that could get a ball player. I'm just saying, sis, upgrade your life. You could do it. I don't know if this dude is giving you, you know, what you need, but I'm just saying, if you could get like somebody in a spotlight with flavor, sis, you gonna soar. They love a hood white woman with a black man and some biracial babies who is tweeting Black Lives Matter. Sis, it's your season. You can get in where you fit in. And if you do, don't let the world know that I told you, because I can get kicked out of my community for giving you this tea. I'm glad that somebody mentioned it, because I noticed that Sheena was hella skinny, especially in her confessionals. Now I understand it's due to the stress from her relationship. And I feel bad for her. I feel bad for Sheena because I feel like she's constantly trying to find security but mask it as love. And I don't know her upbringing, I don't know what her life was like, but she is somebody who really wants to be secure, you know, doesn't want to be in debt, doesn't want to live paycheck to paycheck, and she wants to, I think she just wants to be a housewife. Nothing wrong with that. Hell, I'm thinking about being a housewife at this point. This LA struggle is real. So sorry, rent is cheap when you live next to a train station. It is what it is. I told you, the struggle is real. Anyway, I feel like she wants to be taken care of, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But she kind of masks it with this love and everything is great thing that nobody really believes, because she's visibly bothered by this situation that's happening. And I don't know if she's still with a dude, but she just doesn't seem happy. And I always felt like it was just too soon for her to be something else, when last season you were living with your husband in your Section 8 apartment. Ain't nothing wrong with Section 8 either. I don't want Section 8 subscribers to get upset, or viewers or whoever to get upset about that. I'm trying to get on Section 8. The waiting list in LA is 10 years, okay? And they told me I can't get on because I make too much money. And I'm like, where? Where? At the Sir Pride event that they're having, Jax doesn't want to take off his shirt, right? And I think, I don't know, it was coming off to me like he did not, and I felt like it, I don't know, I hope I'm misreading this, but I felt like he did not want to go along with everything like he has before. I think he did not want to be perceived as homosexual. I think it's because a lot of people say that about him, and I also think it's because Brittany's mom, or you know, her family or whatever, thinks that way about him. So I felt like he was holding back, which made me believe that he kind of feels for her. I don't know, that dude confuses me. I never really know with him, but the fact that he wouldn't take off his shirt, and I get it, if you don't want to take off your shirt, you don't have to take off your shirt, but it was the way he was saying no that I felt like it was layered with something else. I'm not saying homophobia, I just felt like it was layered with, I don't want to be associated with that because I don't want people to think a certain way about me. That's what I felt. I could be wrong, but that's what I felt. And I got the gift of discernment. Ask my mother. Then we get to the scene that I have been waiting for all season. James and Logan. I told you earlier in my review, Logan is not trying to be in no closet. I felt like when the boy came out, he was born out the closet. He don't want to be in one, and I don't know what him and James are doing. But James, you better clean this up. I don't know. I'm not trying to say nothing about you, but Logan is giving me, he's giving me other woman. Can we just say it? He is giving me the side chick. I just get that from Logan, because even when James is like drunk or whatever, and Logan is talking to him and he tries to like kiss him, who does that? Maybe the producers are putting him up to that, and I hope they're not doing that, because that is a terrible way to bring on a openly gay character on this show. I hope that's not it. But James, this listen, it's LA. You know what I mean? Bisexual is celebrated. Now you can't do it in front of Brittany and her family, but I'm just saying, if you gotta come out, boo, come out, do what you need to do. But Logan is, whoo, he is he's something. I don't feel like I want to say too much, because I don't want to speculate too much. But the way he was looking at Raquel, and the way Raquel was looking at Logan, I was like, oh, this is some other woman mess. Clean it up, boo. Clean it up. So the witches of WeHo, pay me, called Brittany's mother, because Brittany has, essentially fallen into like a mini depression over this whole Jax situation. And she called her mom to basically just come out here and comfort her. And Jax was like thrown. And I'm torn by that, because I feel like she does need her mom, right? But I feel like she's old enough to go home. She has to make some kind of stipend on this show to get on the plane. Especially from the show Jax and Brittany, they have their own show. She got money to get on the plane and go home. Like, when you hang out with older people, you gotta just grow up really fast. And that's unfortunate, but she chose to hang with people who are in their late 30s, early 30s. Like, this is the group you hang around, so this is how they roll. You gotta grow up, man. You can't be like this baby and have your mom run out here to your place every time your man cheats on you, because I'm telling you, this ain't the first time he's cheated on you, and it won't be the last. He wants you to dump him, girl. Dump him. His ex, and I don't even know, this group is so toxic and weird to me, because how is Brittany friends? She's calling like her best friends with Kristen and Stassi, two women who have slept with Jax, one who dated him for years. Like, how were y'all cool? And then they're coming over and telling her she needs to dump him. And this group is weird and toxic, and they just all bleed in together. It's nasty. Right, that's where it ends. I thoroughly have enjoyed this season so far. That's why I started to review it as soon as I had some time. And I hope you enjoyed this review. And if you like what you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you for the following episode of Vanderpump Rules. Bye, guys.